Welcome to Introduction to the International Phonetic Alphabet. If you had an opportunity, which I hope you did, to watch the video that I sent to you as a little introduction, you are probably feeling awfully overwhelmed and sort of like, whoa, 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 that's a lot. Yes, it is a lot. And so we're going to start very simply talking just about vowels at first and then adding Latinate consonants. And you'll find it to be pretty simple. And then from there, we build a bit of a vocabulary so that when you are singing in other languages, you have the ability to write the words in IPA so that you're not writing what they are spelled as in languages, but you're writing what they sound like in symbols that represent sound in a consistent way. The English language is notorious for being extraordinarily inconsistent about how we write sounds. So, letters that make the k sound are the K, also CH, also the Q, so all those different letters can make that sound, but in IPA, the k sound has one symbol, and that is what we know as a K. That's just an example. So that if I ever tell you inquire, that needs to be a K. You can write the letter K and know exactly what that sound is at all times. So the way I would like to sort of conduct this session is through a bit of inquiry. So I'm just going to sort of go at the common sounds and give you a little bit of a vocabulary, and then we're going to take some commonly sung words in Latin and try and take them apart a little bit. So my goal is to do this in a bit of a systematic way, but if you have questions, it is essential that you unmute yourself and voice your concerns so that I can meet that question head on. I'm not going to be able to. I can't always see you clearly. What I think we should do in the future is everyone needs to get a big red piece of paper or something. And so when you have a question, hold up that piece of neon yellow paper or whatever so I can see it out of the corner of my eye and stop to get your question. You could always also type your question in, but I very seldom see the chats during the session. So feel free to unmute yourself and interrupt at any time. I sent you another email just a few minutes ago. Hold on one second. We got some people hanging out in the we need to get Marge and all of them in. Here we go. There we go. What was I saying? Anyway, I sent you another email just now with a little bit of a resource that will allow you to actually see a chart of all of these symbols that are in IPA, and you click them and the computer will play them to you, play the sound to you, so that you can learn to connect sounds to this thing. Now, one thing is you're going to hear sounds on this website resource I sent you that are not singer sounds. So, for instance, let's take a sound like this one, this schwa sound, which we say in French a lot. They sort of speak and they go, okay, you're never going to sing something like, all right? But, it's is the sound. But it'll help you a little bit if you forget something and give you a little idea what things should sound like or should not sound like. So we're going to just begin our discourse here talking specifically about the Latin language. And when I say the Latin language, I mean Latin, as in church Latin, which, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison, that kind of thing, because it has very limited kind of sounds. We're going to talk about vowels first. There are about 5 vowels in the Latin language in terms of how we sing it in ecclesiastical Latin. One thing to remember is that, did I spell it ecclesiastical Latin? One thing to remember is that we're really not talking about language in terms, we're not deriving meaning from words. We're just talking about the phonology of the words. So like how they sound, how we use them, and how they sound. But so the phonology of the Latin language really only has about 5 vowels. Those sounds are ah, which looks like this. Think father. Which looks like this, which I think of as sort of a capital E. Can we all see this box here that I'm typing into? Okay. As an egg. E like keep. All. What's a good all word, someone? How about tall? Father, tall, all, all. And then of course, ooh, like coop. So just on your own, without unmuting yourself, let's say these 5 vowels in their particular words. So father, egg, keep, tall, coop, e, o, u. Those are the 5 vowels in Latin. So then if we take a Latin word like Kyrie and ignoring the consonants in the word, key, like keep, ri, and e. So those are the vowel sounds for that word, Kyrie, e. Now you notice that I put these letters in this little bracket, right? That is how you delineate between the written word in terms of the word from the language and the written word in terms of the phonology, the phonetic symbols for those sounds. Now the consonants for this word, just for your edification, are easy because the word, the sound k in Kyrie is just a K. The R, ri, a flipped R, is just a regular R. Now there are lots of different R sounds, The flipped R, which looks like that, rie, just flip it once. But if we wanted to trill it and say Kyrie, it would be the capital R. This is just for your info right now. Don't need to worry about all this. But that's the word Kyrie. Now let's do eleison. Now, interesting thing is also that Kyrie eleison, you may know this, is not actually Latin. It's Greek. But we pronounce it very, very Latinate. We don't pronounce it like Greek because it's sung in the High Latin Mass. That's where we're getting this from. Eleison. So this is pretty easy, right? You know the first vowel is e. You know the second vowel is e. And then o. Eleison. You can put the consonants in there too. L as an eleison is a regular old L. S, the S sound as in snake is a regular old S, lowercase s. Saw, n. Eleison. So when you're writing things in IPA, you separate syllables with spaces. And you always make sure there's brackets there, because if there's no brackets there, someone's going to think you're just writing in some strange language.
Joshua, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
This is great for writing this stuff down. Is there any site out there that might have these symbols with like something auditory so we could hear what each
Yeah,
sound?
absolutely. In
Okay.
fact, I just emailed you one.
Oh.
It's a resource where they actually have charts of these symbols, and you
Oh,
can
okay.
click on the sounds and they'll play them for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Really useful. Christe. This is a great example of what I meant before, because now we have a K here in the word Kyrie, so it's easy to know that that's a K sound, and you write the K in IPA. But is there any difference between this K and this CH sound in Kyrie or Christe? No, there's not. It's still a K sound. Of course, you have the complication of that flipped R right after Christe. But the letter I in Latin is E, Cri, Ste. Christe. So automatically, if we do anything in Latin in choir, this should come really handy, because if you need to remind yourself to sing Christe and not Christe, all you'd have to write above your music is this uppercase capital cursive E looking backwards 3 thing. This sound right here. The difference being, Jay, you're thinking this, you probably heard this sung this way in church before too. Kri, ste. Christe, Christe. This is an open E, this is a closed E. So if you go back to our Latin vowels, this is what we call a dark ah. Because in the family of ahs, you have ah, 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 o, and o. So they're in differing darkness. They're going from a fronting vowel, ah, very front and kind of ha, right? Ah, this is a very French vowel here. All the way back to o, which is a very German vowel. Ah, o. If you cannot hear the difference, don't beat yourself up. Hearing the difference of these vowels is very much the same as hearing any kind of delineation in music too. When I first started, I could not hear the difference between this open E here and this closed E. So when I sang in German, which there are very clear differences between and A in German, I couldn't hear a real difference between A and E. It just sounded the same to me. So give yourself time to hear the differences. And sometimes they're so stinking subtle of a difference that you don't hear the difference. And if you get a choir singing in 4 different registers in a chord, they're not all going to be singing the same kind of ah, right? If you've been in choir with me for any amount of time, you've seen that in action. We all have to pick different qualities here. So this is a dark ah. This in Latin is an open E. Closed, or an open I should say, closed E, closed I in keep. You may have heard before in other places these a lot of opinionation around E vowels. And it really is not a matter of good or bad vowel, but it's a matter of preference in terms of what quality E you like. This E that is very native to this language is the bright E. You've heard that before. Then a little darker than that, you have E. Then you have I. So this is like keep.
Hey, Joshua.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about the dark A in father. Is that the
Uh-huh.
same thing as the closed A? I'm
No, because
looking at the vowel chart that you sent, it stupid IPA chart of the vowels and stuff, and I'm having a hard time finding this particular sound. Dark.
they call this a dark ah, a closed ah.
A closed.
Yeah, on the lower right, it's called a closed ah. No, actually opened.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just kind of.
They call it an open ah. They don't. They use the word close, close mid, and open, and not the word dark. And I guess bright and dark, I'd like to associate with open and closed or something.
Right. This is totally correct. It's just not very singerly. Because the second you think of vowels as closed, you think of them, then they get bad, right? But if we think of them in terms of bright and dark, we can shape that and hear that. But you're right. You're right. Closed and open is a good distinction. Bright also on this side of the chart, dark on this side of the chart. This is actually the shape of your mouth.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we feel these closed and bright vowels really up close to our nose. We feel these alls really deep and dark and back behind our tongue.
Perfect. So bright is closed, dark is open.
Yeah, let's change some of my language to.
Well, it's helpful to know because we're going to be hearing those words dark and bright, like I always do. But
yeah, I better just leave it, and you just have to. You're going to have to.
It's just get it. Yeah, I know it's good. This is good.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. There's different qualities, right? This one, though, however, I do call an open O versus a closed O. All versus O. This is oo as in coop. Dark oo, which on this chart probably is, yeah, closed oo. So how about the word on use as an on use day? Any guesses as to what the first symbol should be? Ah. Then we have the sound nya. Nya. How do you think we should write that? We definitely have an N sound there, but that doesn't really do it, does it? No, the sound we need is a Enya. Looks like that. Or you can write an N and then a J. Now the J, this is the one people are going to forget. The J in IPA makes the Y sound. We call it a yacht. What's it called on this chart, I wonder?
So it's labiodental, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah.
Here it is.
A fricative?
Oh, fricative. Yeah. It's a vocal.
There it is. Yeah. Looks like this. It's a fancy little J.
J.
Do we agree that that says an IPA on use?
There it is. So it's palatal. Yeah. Palatal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. All right.
On use. Day. The D sound is a straight up D. Then, of course, E. That one's easy because it actually looks like the word, right? Day. Kui. What is the first sound in the word kui?
K.
K.
W.
Then you have we. Now, what you would probably do is say, oh, of course, kui, right? But actually, what this says in IPA is kui, kui, and we need what we call a w glide, which is a W. Kui, kui. Let's find that sound over here. Da, 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 da. That ain't it. There we go. Voiced labial velar approximant. Fun word for that sound.
Right.
It's a W though. That's what you need to know. Just like it is when you say w in English. Qui. Taulis.
Taulis.
First sound is a T, which is a T. Then the next sound is an A. L, lis, lis, taulis. Now it's just a feature of the Latin language that these double L's just become one L. If this was Italian though, we would say tollis with a double L with a stop. And in order to do that, you put one L with a little colon in between. Tollis. But in Latin, it's just tollis. Here's a fun word. Peccata. Sin.
Like chicken piccata.
Chicken piccata, yeah. The initial sound is P. E in Latin is going to be our open E, just by default. Pe. What about the next sound? K. K. Pe. Ka. Ta. Is this making sense to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Pretty simplish. This is why Latin is easy, because so much of it is very predictable. How about
Mundi.
Celi? More apt to see this word written like this, though. Celi. The first sound in the word celi is ch.
Sure.
We write it like this. Ch. Ch. So this is a combinatory sound where you have a t and you have this sound, which is called an esche. This sound makes t. This sound makes sh. So if I'm shushing you, it would look like that. Shh. When you put them together, you get ch, like ch. Ch. This little arc above the two sounds is showing you that it's one sound and not tsh.
What was that S thing called?
Esche.
Esche.
Esche, like E-H-S-H-E. Esche. And then, if you see two vowels combined like this in Latin, you take the sound of the second one. Che. Li. Cheli. Now the sound you just made is not actually an sh, like an eshe. This sound has an alternate voiced sound. So this one is unvoiced, like sh. This one is voiced, like sh. So in order to get ch, like ch, we have ch. And in order to get j, we have j, d, which is a voiced T, by the way. J, like that. Don't see that very much in Latin. What's another hard Latin word we encounter and we're like, what? Every time we encounter it. Can't hear you, Barbara. Don't worry about it. Okay. Oh, you sneezed. Okay. How about, let's see here. Qui tollis peccata mundi dona eis. Eis. Grant them. Eis meaning them. The first vowel there is e. The next one is e. And then you have an s. Eis. Latin is also easy in this regard because all the vowels are pronounced. Now to show you how messed up English is, let's do IPA my name. So we talked about this sound sh and zh and ch and j. So the first sound in my name is j. Ah, sh, you. Now this next sound is sh-you, Josh you, sh-you. Joshua. See how messed up that looks? English is tough. Anglicized sounds are really tough. You start talking about diphthongs and it gets very, very complicated very fast. Joshua. So for now, we'll stick to Latin. Donna. Can you hear a piano playing right now? It was my cat leaping on the piano playing a kitty concerto. Donna. The first sound in the word donna is d, which is D. Then our next sound is our open O. Da. Na. Notice that we did not write do. Na. Dona. This is donna, donna, which is the word donna, as in dona eis requiem. This is dona, like donut. Donut.
Is there a reason why there's not a space before the N there?
I just didn't put one. Donna. Requiem. So we have our flipped R. Whoop. Re. Qui. M. Requiem. Here's another fun one. That word, aeternam. Seen that one, right? Requiem aeternam. The rule when we see these little double vowels here in Latin is we take the sound of the first or second one. Someone put your fingers up. The first or the second one? The second one. E. Ter. Nam. Aeternam. You're probably experiencing already, as we go through these words, how these are already starting to coordinate with sounds in your head. This looks like aeternam more than this looks like aeternam. Yeah, the more you look at these things, the better you'll get at it. Just don't try to do any French diction or any German diction or any English diction yet. Just stick to Italian, that'll be fine, and stick to English, you'll be fine. Requiem aeternam, dona eis Domine. Domine, that's a good one. Domine. The first sound is D. Then you have an O, so A, me, nay. Anyone see anything wrong with this one? I see Sylvie saying something. What do I have actually written here? If I were to pronounce that IPA as I have it written.
You're putting Domine instead of nay.
Yeah, that's absolutely what's written there. Domine is written there. That is incorrect. We want our open E sound there. Et. Any errors there with the word et? Nope. That's correct. Lux. The initial sound is an L. Then we have oo. Now what about this X? If we put this here, what we have is luch. X in IPA is a like Ahmed. It's called an achlaut. So what we need to do is we need to have lux. 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 Perpetua. P. E. R. P. E. Tu. A. Perpetua. Wouldn't it be so nice in your music if you're doing this? Is if I need a little more R, all you got to do is write that little R above your music, and you know exactly what you need. Instead of having to write a novel about how to flip an R every time. Perpetua. Notice that we didn't write perpetua. That's a whole different thing, isn't it? Perpetua and perpetua. Perpetua, perpetua. Another interesting thing you can do when you start feeling real comfortable is we put a diacritical mark right before the stressed syllable. Perpetua. Domine. Eterna. Requiem. Dona. Eis. Celi. Peccata. So imagine before we did major work in Latin, I could give you a 2 or 3 page packet of all the words in IPA, and you would know, because you know Latin IPA, exactly how to pronounce those, exactly where the accented syllable is, exactly how to inflect them, and exactly how not to, right? Thanks to the International Phonetic Alphabet.
What did you call the little accent?
I always, my teacher called it a diacritical mark, but for some reason, as soon as I said it, I was like, I think I'm using the wrong terminology. Let's Google. Yep. It's called a diacritical mark. Thanks, Google.
I should have been typing along with you, Joshua, but there's a little piece that says you can now copy and paste and send that. Maybe you could just copy and paste the stuff that you just wrote in that box and send it to us.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
I should have been typing along with you, but I didn't. And now I'm looking
That's
at it.
okay.
Going, I wish I had that.
That's okay. Remind me as soon as we get to about finished so that I
Okay,
put that in the before I close it, because then it'll be a
Yeah,
tragedy.
don't close it. Yeah, just copy and paste.
Perpetua. Let me see here. I have my translations and annotations of choral repertoire book here. I'm going to flip through and find a strange word. Misericordia. There's a great word. Misericordia. Have mercy. Me. How about the next sound? The Z. What do you think that IPA symbol is? It's a Z. Mise. Ri. Ko. R. D. A. Misericordia. See any errors in that? A hint, there's one. The error is right here. Misericordia. The K sound is always a K. Misericordia. That's a fun word. The stress is on core. Misericordia.
So you do put the diacritical mark there because it is stressed.
Because it's stressed. And if you happen to know where the stress syllable is, you can put it there.
Okay.
But it's good to know that so that when I put a diacritical mark in somewhere, you know that it means to stress that syllable. Let's flip through again. Let's see here. Whew. Colaudantes. That's a great word. Colaudantes. What's the first symbol? Let me see. Someone raise your hand and I'll call on you. Who thinks they know the first symbol? Oh, someone shouted out.
Call.
That'll be the K.
Hey, yes. Yes, indeed, Tom.
Oh.
Call. Then we have an L sound, which is an L. Oh, but then we have this aggravating OU there. Ow. How do you think we notate that? With the A vowel and the U vowel. Lao. Dan. Tes. Final S's in Latin are S. You wouldn't say colaudantes. Final S in Latin is an S sound. That's a great word. Here, I'll make up a Latin word. Ready for this? How about colaudante remimus? Let's do it. What's the initial sound, somebody?
Okay.
K.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Call. La. Dan. Oop. Te. Re. Mi. Moose.
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 Moose, that's it. How about this one? That should be awfully easy.
Is that a ch? No.
Oh, good point. The initial sound, since it's an initial C, would be ch, which is the T in the esche. Yes. But the next vowel would be e, che, le, re, me, re, de, me, rus. Cele reme mere de merus. We should write a nonsense song for choir on his nonsense Latin.
Okay,
Probably
so
already been done.
it's nonsense.
What'd you say?
It's nonsense. It doesn't mean, no meaning.
No, I made up that word just now.
Yeah.
I'm flipping through for another one. How about, ooh, here's a good word, errantium. This happens in Latin once in a while and throws everyone for a loop every time. When we have these medial T's in the word. So the first sound, you know, because it's an E, it's going to be e. We have a double R here, which means we want it rolled. Errantium. And a rolled R is a capital R. Flipped R is our lowercase r. But a rolled one is a capital R. Erran.
C.
C.
T and S.
Yes.
C. Errantium. That's a fun word.
Straying. We're all straying.
Who's straying? Oh, because we lost somebody. Who'd we lose? Did we lose Jay?
Straying, errantium.
Errantium, true. Let's see. Let's do 5 more. And then I'm going to send you a little battery of Latin words, and you're going to write them in IPA, and you're going to send them to me.
Homework.
Homework. You can either write it out and send me a picture, or you can use this website. Make sure you grab this URL. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll grab the URL, I'll put it at the top of this thing, and when I email it to you, it'll be there. Okay, 5 more words. Let's see. Tube, trumpet. Tube. The initial sound is a T. Tube. Well, we have these double vowel sounds here. Do we use the first sound or the second sound?
Second.
Second. Tube. See, if I wrote this without these brackets here, you would think I was writing the word tube, which I'm not. I'm writing the word tube. And your markings in your score always look very intelligent when they have those brackets around it.
Joshua,
Uh-huh.
there was one word, I've forgotten what it was, but B-E-A-U something in one of our songs that we did, one of our pieces. I can't remember the rest of the word, but.
Was it in Latin?
Yes.
Oh, let me investigate this.
Okay.
Must have been in the Requiem, huh? Or was it in the Te Deum, Laudamus part of
I can't remember right now.
the Lauridsen?
That might be it.
That would be the Veni Creator. Let me look in there. 231. I have my book right in front of me. This is good. I have this here. Veni Sancte Spiritus, sorry. Veni Sancte Spiritus. Et emite celetis lucis tue radium, veni pater pauperum, veni dater munerum, veni lumen cordium, consolatur optime, dulcis hospes anime, dulce refrigerium, in labore requies, in estu temperies, in fletu solatium, o lux beatissima. Was that it? Beatissima? You sure it started with a B?
Yes.
B words. Let me look for B words.
That might be it.
Beatissima is literally, I think, the only B word in there. Beatissima. Let's do that one.
Okay.
Beatissima. So the initial sound is B, which is luckily a B. Bea. T. C. Ma. Seeing this word, English speakers are liable first pronunciation of that word to say beat. Beatissima. No, that ain't it. Beatissima. Beatissima. Let's see here. Ooh, here's a good word. Defunctorum. Defunctorum. The dead. Begins with an initial D, which is a D. E. Funk. To. Room. Is that correct? See any errors in that? You do, Sylvie? You see an error? Anyone else see any errors there? Nope, there are no errors. It's correct.
Should the R be rolled?
Well, this R like this is flipped. It kind of looks like a tongue, just flipping once. Defunctorum. This right here, funk, funk, funk. Notice that it's not funk. That's funk, like NG, putting an NG in there. It's fun, like an N, funk, torum. Two more. Anyone have other difficult words they run into every once in a while? Verde, it means green. V, ve, r, de, verde. One more, just for fun. Let's see. Mulieribus.
So the women's
Mu, li, er, I, bus. Any errors in that one? How many of you feel like you could read this in IPA? Okay, so let's test your skills then. I'm going to write a word in IPA, and you're going to have to decode what actual word it is. Let's see here. Tell us, Sylvie.
Aeternum.
That is the word, but this sound you mispronounced. Revisit.
Aeternum.
There we go. Yes, 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 yes. Very, very good. Aeternum. Aeternum. Good, Sylvie.
I haven't found him yet. No, if you'd like to, that'd be great. Okay.
Let's see here. This is an easy one. Sylvie, I can tell, yes, you're correct. Perpetua. Yes, perpetua.
Perpetua. Okay.
One more. One more here. This is easy. Don't second guess yourself.
Lava.
Lava. Yes. Lava. Latin is not hard, right? It could get much more difficult than this. Okay, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Before I forget, I'm just gonna copy and paste this into that email for you.